prominent member of NDC, Dr. Tony Aidoo Exp0sed Wontumi Bawumia enye easy kra. O kan sem we ebra woni Okatakyie Afrifa etna kojakase mo twetwe nkomo phone so no di nsem nyina ebe to dwena we phone nsem ne de mo rem because ye tin nka che ye point secret we be hwegu wo de enye secret kotoa papa me kana asem ye former presidential aid head of policy our late Atanos Epenso abusia ensem de waka bi ye power se o pama mpanyi pa you feel say Ghana ye start ye mampanyi wa Ghana fi kwa me kuma pen president a oya abro edi ewu pa ontimi nka enyi eye ekuforo mamuo emfemfi because no ehunu say tin nka che ye pa bo secret a wo hwegu ho no do for enye secret kotoa kra Bawumia niema wo ye akufado no so a wo kɔ na po wontumi mu nyina no so mo kɔ nyina babonten abekasa be hwie security pa e de egu wo sɛ niema ekoso man Ghana mu no ade se entwa yie kura nti wo sere Ghana for Ghana for ento aba Emma John Dramani Mahama no sa me mampanyi e wo man Ghana ha na akufado no na aba ne de omo ye the West President compo e wo man Ghana ha security de for wo hwie bi egu ho papa niema katasha ne proya na na adodan kwakufado obetina kwanyakase so wo ye ene Bawumia ne campaign wo ye nyina no sa ayetro kenken kwa ɔrɛyi akasema hwie niema e de egu wo pa nti mpɛsɛ Brian Kwai, Ninkotie Dr. Tony Aidoo, why a prominent member pa our NDC Emmanuel Kunu. You could some nibi emraiba, a yakina ebetuaso edema. Emma so be subscribe it. No one like no comments, no follow ye. All social media platform Ninano, a Kasapa media. Nabusia Young Kwai, Ninkotie in some nibia, a already kind of Okatakyie Afrifa, a kind of be emraiba, ebetuaso edema.
Idea Tony Aidoo. Oh, so Dr. Tony Aidoo. Hey, Mama Kwana mene Dr. Tony Aidoo. Waya NDC. I would tell you catch any no better ninka. Waya NDC stalwart. No waya former presidential aide and head of policy evaluation and oversight. President Mills Peso. Doc Marjano pay. Na uhono to say any.
Hello.
Doc to say any other pay.
I'm Adam.
Yet one catch it. Doc, I no pay young share a memo so far where a presidential aid head of policy. A year president. If I memo be Abama, what will be? I no pay analyze a year your assessment. Who assess it? Send Abe assessment.
Well, he's been Ghana's worst nightmare for the past 8 years. Worst nightmare.
Ghana's worst nightmare.
Governance style is essentially fascist. Fascism is a system of government where a regime manipulates, invades, and controls all the apparatus of the state. And if we look at Ghana over the past 8 years, there is hardly any constitutional body or apparatus of state that is not manned by the chosen people of Akufo-Addo, from the Electoral Commissioner to the Supreme Court. They are all sympathizers of NPP. Control the state apparatus and control everybody in the country, even the press. Save for a few press houses, their independence has been compromised. That is the kind of nightmare we've had for the past 8 years. It's managed the economy to the point at which, as we know, all our economic fundamentals, all our macroeconomic indicators are in the negative. 8 years. That is how I will score Akufo-Addo's administration of our country.
Doc, before we continue, are these economic degradation now can they not be attributed to external factors, exogenous factors as COVID-19 as well as Russia-Ukraine war?
Did they know that when Akufo-Addo was campaigning in 2016, did they realize that external factors can affect an economy? And if he did know,
I'm pretty much sure he had an idea.
Why did he lie to Ghanaians that within 18 months he will reset Ghana's economy towards prosperity? Was he God at the time that he knew that there will be no COVID? Rajibao Aidoo Bawumia said, when the fundamentals are wrong, the exchange rate would expose you. The same kind of logical reasoning should have attested to the fact that when your economy is weak, external factors will expose you. We did not vote for Akufo-Addo to come and make excuses, to come and pass the buck. We voted for him to manage the country towards prosperity. He was going to make everybody rich with all kinds of promises, 1 million, one constituency, and that kind of jazz. It turned out to be the greatest con man that this country has ever seen.
Is that not too harsh on his person? The greatest con man.
This is not person. This is work I'm talking about.
Whereby he's your contemporary, and to say that
if you deceive people by your deeds, then you're a con man. It's not an attack on this person. It's an attack on this work.
The argument has been that in the first year of his government, all the pointers were to the positive, for which there was hope until these external factors came to affect whatever was put in place. Is it only Ghana that was affected by this COVID-19 and Russia-Ukraine war?
The first part of his government, who was in charge in the management of our macroeconomic climate, it was the World Bank. The World Bank built us the fiscal space. So there were projections of higher levels of growth before Akufo-Addo came to power. 2016, all the credit watchers in the world have predicted growth for Ghana. And that growth did happen as a result of World Bank management of the economy. Now, you start borrowing to the point at which you are no longer credit worthy. And when you are asked about the effects, the consequences of your borrowing, you ascribe it to COVID-19. Did COVID-19 lead you to go and borrow? And what did you borrow the money for? John Mahama left you a lot of legacies, a lot of fiscal space. You squandered it during the COVID. You squandered even COVID revenue that came through international organizations. You distributed it among party faithfuls for electoral purposes. And then you go and find external forces to attribute your incompetence to. This Bawumia, who wants us to try him, so far, what has been his electoral promises and policies? On first year, no mommy, that is the sing song. Mahama Bao, only 4 years, Nidemenya 8 years. Is that what Ghanaians are going to eat to survive? That you will get 8 years.
Proposing, Doc, Madama, we are no more draw attention. Says, I would keep Bumbe. Na Ahani Angel of Mtiminya, Joy Super Morning Show, some and I'm family tree. You remember tree back at my say, how
tree no, drove a someone view or was a mechanic rough.
Okay, now, Dr. Mama Bawumia, so what proposing a policies be watching an event me a boama or mine wagon and national talk of
mobile phone policies. Nipa mobile phone or say Mahama say no Mahama say Obama Scania wire Kokonkite. No only the mobile phone now which is CD a month no and young kitten. What requires of amount to Martin. That's how he is. A con man. I'll give you $1 million a year, every constituency. Where is that money? Planting for food and jobs. Food no way. Towards the end of his reign as Minister of Agric, the Agric Minister had to commandeer truckloads of plantain to come and sell at the
before dogs me sure so what na brochi kakra ne ade osuku iwakoko bia na wo ka credit score ho asem which he says say your Ghana card needs me trace people because of the linkage of Ghana card to their bank account there. Then you be who the credit history of people. Say we were kobo busia wo try. Okwe say it say nipa ni nkurasi kabum kura. Obetimi akosto akwaji ade. Or you should phone just as an example. Do you think that we must not look at the policy holistically rather than just limiting it or reducing it to just the phone?
Is a credit system a good substitute for income generation activity? A credit system will be how when the person has no job, how does this credit rating comes in? A Juma first, before you can live above your means. But you haven't satisfied the basic needs of the person by providing him with a good income earning job, and you are arguing for a credit rating policy. What is that? Putting the cart before the horse. There's a Ghana for no. That's a term when you say about Bobusia.
The alternative for which it's obvious, John Dramani Mahama, because your policy, your politics now, your two-way stream. I'm not too sure when it will change. Now, people have said that John Mahama and Swaba Baby, now, the likes of one other people, is there anything different John Dramani Mahama is coming on board with?
He was in the process of laying solid foundations for our fiscal space, John Mahama. If you know, the sinking fund, ESLA, etc. If the MPP administration had not amortized it and used it for collateral, our debt would not be in the state it is now. Right now, we have declared bankruptcy. We can't pay our debts. The city has stabilized at a time when we are not servicing our foreign debts. What will happen when we start servicing? At 17 to 1, 17 cities to $1 now. When we start servicing our foreign debts and therefore we need more dollars, the obvious result is that it will shoot up again. Is that how you manage a country's economy? Bawumia no can say, when your fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. And his logic was that when you start borrowing money, you have greater financial liabilities. So you borrow to chop, you borrow to pay debt, and keep on borrowing till the point at which you cannot borrow anymore. It took us there. By the year 2020, we were well on the way there, where we didn't have any credit worthiness so far as international lenders are concerned. We've chased away the big business that would have established investments and give us an employment. You claim to be a friend of private sector. Private sector, the engine of growth and that kind of thing. I've always said that kind of jargon, we better stop. We're a developing country. There are so many virgin areas of an economy that private sector will not go because the returns take a long time. So it is up to the government to take the responsibility of investing there. We are a country blessed with natural resources. Agriculture should be our basic foundation. When in Nkrumah, in the 60s, and I saw Nkrumah's government because I was even though young, I could understand. Establish the state farms. It was not only for food production, but also for employment generation. Nkrumah did so many things that pointed the way to real development for Ghana. Subsequent politicians have destroyed it.
When you say subsequent politicians, one will come to the conclusion that you, Dr. Tony Aidoo, you've been at the forefront of our politics and governance, for which you have been part of the J.J. Rawlings administration as well as Professor Mills and that of Mahama. What do you think has gone wrong for which you could not lay the foundation on what you are saying right now for the next government to come and continue?
Because even the governments I supported never listened that the state or the government has business to do business. Governments manage our education system, our health system, our transport system. Is there any reason why government cannot manage industrial outlets? What is wrong with the government establishing a business and hiring private management on pay, on results basis? What is wrong? I've always been campaigning for this within all the governments have said. As a policy coordinator, I suggested it. I suggested the establishment of urban agricultural homesteads, where there's vital, strong young men working our speeds can engage in mechanized agriculture, selling cheaper food because it's peri-urban to urban areas, bringing down food prices. It makes sense. But nobody listens. So subsequent politicians abandon what Nkrumah set out to do.
So I can deduce from what Dr. Tony Aidoo is saying to mean that even John Dramani Mahama did not listen to your advice on the way to go. What is the probability?
Mahama only had 4 years.
Well, but we can still deduce that you said the government you supported did not listen to your advice on what you think is better for our nation, which pretty much shows that when he should come back, what is the likelihood that he will listen to this advice that you're proposing?
Well, part of it has been incorporated into the manifesto in terms of establishment of district agricultural mechanization centers, where farmers can use machinery that the government will import, even as though it's a far cry from what I was suggesting. It is a step towards that direction. What is needed is that the government can adopt the PPP method, private-public partnership, where you rent land from a landlord, where you have the farm workers who are private and the government that is providing the capital. And each will share in the harvest on the basis of their calculated contribution, land, labor, and capital. It's simple. The same way private capital operates, the government can operate. But the difference is that the government is going into areas where private capital doesn't want to go. This is a developing country, for God's sake. You can employ agro-industry within the farming homesteads. Artisanal workshops can be developed. Israel tried in the kibbutz system. That is what socialism is about. That's why we are socialists.
In the event that John Dramani Mahama does not
each other's. Hello?
No, me too.
We are each brother's keeper. The state has the prime responsibility for creating jobs in an underdeveloped country, not the private capital. Look at the foreign investment that comes into the country. Where do they go? They go into our extractive industries. Gold, no more with Tuaco. Bauxite, no more with Tuaco. Never in agriculture. large-scale agriculture. You travel from Abidjan to Yamoussoukro, left and right, huge agricultural plantations in plantain. Along the road, corn on a large scale. The same thing if you travel from Kampala to Entebbe, left and right. Ugandans are feeding themselves with large-scale agriculture. And yet, when you travel from Tema to Accra, what you see is concrete castles, left and right, concrete castles.
Doc, about one hour will be winning. Ambassador Mama and winning about me winning or call you to come and help government. Will you accept it?
Oh, I don't think I share the same ideology with the NPP. I mean,
unity government, coercion to build our nation. Why not? I mean,
8 years of nightmare plus another 4 years. Hey, then Ghana will disappear from the face of the earth.
What is yours?
8 years, he won't. The science not there. If the guy is an economic whiskey, as his wife said, to the macroeconomic variables as established now, going to the work of an economic whiskey,
in a nutshell,
a destroyer.
Who should Ghanaians vote for?
Of course, I'm an NDC man, and I think Ghanaians should vote for Bawumia if they think he has done well. But there is no evidence of his doing well. So the obvious choice is John Mahama. He laid the foundations, and he will continue to lay the foundations till we reset the economy.
Thank you very much for your time, sir. And I'm privileged to have you interviewed.
Thank you very much for having me.
Dr. Tony Aidoo is one of the people that me interview. I think one of the things I've done in media is my interview Dr. Tony Aidoo.
Dr. Mami Yamshim, baby.
Ade.
Said you okay, Ubusare said, Divine and Tomano.
Ade.
Who said you were civic car, so you're NDC man.
But
No, Dr. Bawumia Dino, I've been a phone at all. I said, what can be CSM?
Oh, here we are smart communicator. Nah, what we say? Akwe because he knew Bokuri. Agwabi no chirone, the catch is or he knew Bokuri. I know what the call boy, him feels a hair or he knew Bokuru. What's all man, we a sentence?
Got to us,
or he knew Bokuri, why?
How wait, your friend, why?
One more Kai say, man, can you drink here as a work to wear? Enter 102.9 FM. And a big woman every Tuesday, so well. Teacher agenda. Now, we know your case be a daily. Say last week in your car, a year, Deputy IGP, Ura Christian Tete Yonu, Asemono. Na aye the lawyer Tadio sorry me yonko pa ya me godfather no send me message say asem no e kan ye no Christian tete yo no ese wonim ho hwe na onsuma obi aso nkwaje obi ansase eti it is a bit denigrating say ye ka say we survey police ni ade to obetro krata aba krata na bedi kojudiction ho na am say kojo so refi wa farmer na enra wo osa send message ma me say oh he counts on us we nyantokwa we say friendly of course onim see aka bibi na egu na nimu asia me fan to dwama manfo ni hunu say ono COP Christian Tetenye onu won suma obi a so won kwaje obi asase efiri na de ko police ni bi di ni din ba say me COP Tetenye onu so oje asase dia ene ye wonu COP no won suma obi a Wanyiji will be answered, say, a year, a inkraha. Where you are say, me fan to Gamma Mamfonente. Now, journalism no or reporting the other side. Now, will be a quality for said Debbie, in your kind of, and yes, you have a duty to report the same to the public. At this point, COP stated on your news and memo man, yes, sir. Wanyiji will be assassin. As some no kind and Yanokore. Sir, no clear woman and son, sir. There's a court issue. Break on him, you made the home come. Now, so COP to you know some was young Kanchina son. And I have a duty to carry that. So I have carried it as I've been said. So, Tadio, sorry, the crater said me. And the crater knows our lawyer for Brofu. And nobody said, I have a duty of my client to ask the lawyer for Brofu, what should be about.
I just one year estate developer. And I want your hand what a chance I say. It is what we do need Basse.
Some men must have come, Mrs. Sandy, you room. And was me can't you come up for this one small only Sanwalk.
To be your BD ban or D Basso was it.
On small,
I said, a may budget. Princess, you present Magia or was in
on small beer.